off. I said, you're up first, Winston. He said, oh, shit. And I said, give him a big round of applause. Okay. Winston Wright is a passionate public health professional working to create solutions to advance health equity in healthcare. As a proud alumni of Fisk University and Nashville transplant via Philadelphia since 2007, North Nashville has held a special place in Winston's heart, becoming the setting of many key experiences during his formative years. And I must also say, it's a way to add to your bio, Winston is an excellent follow on social media.
Yeah!
So if you're not following Winston, when you get up here before you start, plug your Instagram, have people follow you. I also share some stuff that you make. You made a great video about those bowl bouts. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, let's hear it for Winston Wright. Winston, come on up here. All right.
My hands are really sweaty.
Okay.
All right. My Instagram is publichealth_BUL for anybody who is interested. Thank you so much. I think I'm ready to go.
All right.
If I suck, y'all can throw tomatoes at me.
No. You got this.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Your hot take.
Oh, my hot take! I almost forgot about
what is it?
hot chicken ain't even hot anymore, y'all. Okay, let's go. All right, in 2007, my dad moved my family from North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to North Nashville, Tennessee. I had no idea where Tennessee was on the map when he told me. All I knew about Tennessee is MLK was assassinated in Memphis. And this is a picture of my sister and I on the campus of Fisk University probably 2 or 3 weeks after moving to Nashville in 2007. Wow. My dad also told me, hey, there's this stuff here called hot chicken. Y'all gotta try it. And he was like, hot chicken? Why would chicken be cold? What's going on? They got cold drinks. It's 98 degrees outside. Why would I want a hot drink? What's going on here? But he told us, no, this is like Nashville's cheesesteak. This is like their cultural export, right? It really speaks to the flavor, the vibe of the city. So we were like, oh man, I can only eat this like 3 times a year, but this is amazing, right? So tonight, my story is gonna be about migration, about placement and displacement of certain groups, particularly Black people in Nashville, and how the placement and displacement of those groups, of that particular group, feeds into the cultural identity and fabric of the city. But it's also going to be about my family story. Many of us may know about the Great Migration period from 1910 to early 1970s, where plenty of Black folks were escaping terrorism in the Jim Crow South. Well, a few years ago, a new term was coined called the New Great Migration, speaking about the reversal. A lot of families like myself were descendants of people who escaped the South moving back. So that's our story. The lovely lady sandwiched in between my parents, her name is Vivian Friedman. She was a Fisk University graduate class of 1946. She was our neighbor in Philly and talked about Fisk being this magical place before we ever knew we were going to be here. And my sister and I both ended up graduating from Fisk University. If you ask Winston, why do you care about Black spaces and places and neighborhoods? Well, it's really my parents. My dad was a high-ranking administrator in Metro Nashville Public Schools when we moved here. And my mother was a restaurateur and community organizer in Seattle and Philadelphia, where I grew up. So I really care about Black neighborhoods just because of them. And when we first moved here, me and my dad were like, hey, where are the Black people at? And they're like, Jefferson Street. So we said, okay, let's go to Jefferson Street. And I am old and young enough to have my hair cut by the Mr. Miles. This is a historic place. Miles Barbershop, if y'all never seen it, it's closed unfortunately now, but it's still there on Jefferson, right by Fisk. Also, because we lived in Whites Creek and Bordeaux, we were not far from Clarksville Pike. This place called Old Timers Fish and Pit Barbecue. It's the first, yes, Old Timers. It's the first place I've ever had a fish sandwich, ever. You know, Philly is a little, Philly, East Coast is a little different, right? Clarksville Pike, where this Family Dollar is, used to be this place where there were all these houses where older Black folks would have these small businesses in their homes. You walk in, it smelled like cigarettes and oil, but you get the best fish sandwich ever, right? I leave Nashville in 2010. Me and my dad actually go back to Philly. My mom and sister stay here. And I come back in 2015 for school, undergrad. And when I'm back, I'm like, dang, Nashville's kind of popping now. Like, it didn't feel like this. I'm at my favorite hot chicken joint the year I moved back. There's a family in front of me. 2 kids are like eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, running around the establishment. And one of the parents is like, do you think you can fry the chicken in soybean oil? And I'm just like, damn, like, is Nashville hot chicken gentrified? And then I'm driving around the north side, and I with this group, I don't have to talk about all the gentrification, the California tall and skinnies, but I'm like, oh wow, like the place that I called home for a little bit is changing, and I've never seen the rate of growth in development in a city, and I've lived again in Seattle and Philadelphia, right? I leave again after I graduate from Fisk, and while I'm away, I'm looking at the conversation that's happening in Nashville. I'm just like, dang, all of these insidious private developers coming to Nashville and all of a sudden misplacing everybody, and is it just going to become this emblem of privatization in a boring city with no culture? And I moved back in 2022, and I'm like, damn, I'm wrong. Because there's actually a lot of activists and organizers and great people here, people that have been a part of the civic design and have had a privilege and honor and blessing of working on some real projects in the city, where people are fighting back, they're pushing back, right? And even though I was a Fisk University graduate, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of Black history I did not know about North Nashville. And I'm walking, re-familiarizing myself with these neighborhoods, like, damn, all the culture, all the flavor, all that history, it's still here. It really hasn't gone anywhere, but you don't feel it because of all the privatization, because of all the development. Nashville's always gotten in good trouble, right? Someone like John Lewis isn't just a nice old Black face that we want to poster on the wall. This is somebody who should inspire us to continue to keep up with the history that the city has always had, because we know that it's always been here, right? And beyond seeing it physically, you can even interact with the history. This is Mr. Marvin Moore Williams. This is at the 37208 building on Clarksville Pike. And he is someone who's one of the first students to attend an integrated school in Nashville in 1957. And he's still alive. And you can still meet him and talk to him and gain his perspective, right? So this is not just something we can see, we can interact and feel and be inspired by this history. I took this picture probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I am ashamed to know that I did not know about Z. Alexander Ruby and how his house was bombed. So when I think about Interstate 40 and the systemic removal of Black people, we know that even on an individual level, again, we've always been fighting to maintain and keep our place here, right? Yeah. This is on Clarksville Pike. The picture to the left is from last year. The picture to the right is from probably a few weeks ago. Again, Clarksville Pike used to be a place where I could go into the home of a Black person and I could support their small business, and it was right there. Now, Clarksville Pike, when I drive by, I see older Black folks panhandling, and it breaks my heart, because we know that they're being displaced. At the same time, the fight is still going on. This picture to the left is a picture in that hot chicken joint that I referenced. NS stands for North Side. And I asked this OG, I said, yo, OG, when did North Nashville kind of become like that? He was like, man, in the 90s when all the Californians moved here. I said, damn, California gangs back then, California developers down. It's kind of crazy, right? But at the end of the day, you know, my ultimate message is, while it may seem like hot chicken isn't really that hot anymore, we have the flavor, we have the ingredients to keep it that way, so let's do it. That's me.